Hi, my name is Kathryn, and today we're going to be reducing fractions. Not the hard way, the easy way. We're going to use multiplication. Let's get started. Let's look at our first one. We have 3 over 9. Now the first thing that I like to do is do like a factor tree. So 3 is the same thing as 3 times 1. And 9 is the same thing as 3 times 3. Cool. We have a matching number. So what we're going to do is we're going to say 3 times 1. And then 3 times 3. And guess what? The 3's reduce. Yeah, they cancel. And we end up with 1/3. And that's it. That's about as hard as it gets. Let's try another one. Let's say I have 5 over 10. Well, I know that 5 is 5 times 1. Now, when I look at 10, I'm going to think, well, is there a 5 in 10? Yeah, there is. 5 times 2. That means we have what's called a greatest common factor, or GCF. Let me show you how to reduce it then. We're going to take 5 times 1, and then 5 times 2. Now, what's really cool is 5 over 5 reduces to 1. And what do we have left? 1/2. And that's it. I know, it's super crazy. Let's try another one. Let's say I had 21 over 27. Ooh, well, I know that 21 is 3 times 7. Cool. Now let's look at 27. Does 3 go into 27? Or 3 times what is 27? 9. Yeah, 3 times 9. Guess what? We found our greatest common factor. So all we have to do is do some reducing. So we'll have 3 times 7 and 3 times 9. Remember, the 3's cancel. They're our greatest common factor. That leaves us with 7 over 9. I know, how crazy is this? Let's try another one. Hopefully you're getting the hang of it. Let's try this one. Let's say we have 25 over 75. Okay, well, I know that 25 is 5 times 5. Cool. Now let's look at 75. Does 5 go into 75? It does, but I'm not sure how many times. So let's do some division. I'm going to go right here. 5 divided into 75. Well, 5 goes into 7 one time. When we subtract, we end up with 25, and we just figured out that 5 times 5 is 25. So 75 is the same thing as 5 times 15. And look, we have a greatest common factor. So let's reduce. 5 is 5 times 5, and 75 is 5 times 15. When we cancel our 5's, we end up with 5 over 15. But wait a second, they both end in 5, so I think they still reduce. Let's see. 5 is the same thing as 5 times 1. 15 is the same thing as 5 times 3. Whoa, we found it. We found our greatest common factor. So 5 is 5 times 1. Okay, and 15 is 5 times 3. We're going to cancel them, and we end up with 1/3. Let's review what we did. What we did first was write our numerator and the denominator. Then I started just thinking, well, what multiplies to 25? 5 times 5. Then when I look at 75, I think, well, does 5 go into 75? Yeah, so we reduced it. 5 over 15? 5 goes into both of them. And we just did it again. 5 is 5 times 1, and 15 is 5 times 3. And it reduces to 1/3. Yeah, that's about as hard as it's gonna get. Thanks for joining me. And if you need some more help with fractions, I actually have a course ready for you. Just look down below for the link.